Hello everyone, this is Celesta Matthews and I'm going to show you how to print this kind of a pattern using C++ in code blocks. Our pattern basically looks like this. It is in an X shape, so I'll be showing you how to print this. Okay, the first step is we will consider it as a 2D array and it will be looking somewhat like this. So it consists of only zeros and ones arranged in a 2D array kind of a structure. So now if we consider the index numbers, so I'll be considering two variables, that is I and j. I will be referring to the number of rows as well as j will be referring to the number of columns. So I have given the index numbers in the bracket down. So the first one will be showing at 0, 0. The second one will be at 0, 4, that is the 0th row and the 4th column. The third one will be at the first row and first column, and so on as shown in the diagram. So now when we write down the index numbers of the places where there are ones and zeros, it will be looking somewhat like this. So the first one is 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 and 4, 4. The next part I have written it as 0, 4, 1, 3, 3, 1 and 4, 0. So when I am looking at the first structure, it is like the numbers are repeating. So I can say that the I and j are equal. For this reason, I am using the condition that I is equal to j. Now when I look at the second structure, it seems that n minus j minus 1, that is n is the number of rows. So this will be 5. Suppose if we take 5 minus 4, that is 1, and 1 minus 1 will be given 0. That 0 is equal to the number of row. So we can write that I is equal to n minus j minus 1. Therefore, in the if condition, we can write the statement that if I is equal to j or I is equal to n minus j minus 1. So we have to print 1 or whatever the value we are storing in an array. Now in this I have used only 4 variables, that is I, j, a, that is an array, and n. I and j will be the loop counter variable for counting the number of rows and columns. Array, this a will be an array in which I'll be storing the sequence of the numbers, that is zeros and ones, and n, that will be to store the input from the user. Now we will have a look at this array. This array, like if I ask the user to input a number that is 5, it will be always it will be an odd number. That number 5, if divided by 2, it will give me like any number like 2. Okay, then at the second position of this array, I have to store 0 and the rest will be 1. So I have taken a condition in which it will store input in the array, or it will store in the array. Whenever this condition becomes true, it will store 0, or else it will store 1. So now I'll be showing you the program. This is basically the question. I'll read it out. Generate the following pattern for an input, say 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, where equal number of ones can be prefixed and suffixed, where 0 must be at the middle position and the total number of digits must be odd. Okay, now this is the example which I have showed you in the slides. There are some do's and don'ts. The maximum number of digits should be 3. For example, it's 101, and the minimum number should be 3 and the maximum number should be 19. Okay, so here we have 3 conditions which we have to check before proceeding to the program. That is, the maximum number should be 19, minimum should be 3, and the number inputted should be an odd number. So now I'll be showing you the coding. Okay. Here I have declared all the variables, and over here I have taken the input from the user stating that enter an odd number that is greater than 3 and smaller than 19. Okay, C in n, and here this is the condition which I have told you about the check condition. The number should be greater than 3, smaller than 19, and it should be an odd number. So n modulus 2 not equal to 0. This is the condition which we use to check if the number is odd or an even number. Now further entering inside, we have this condition, this loop, that is I is equal to 0, I less than n, and I plus plus. Here I have showed, before in the slides I have showed you that we have to take the input inside an array. So I have used this method for that, and n divided by 2 is equal to I. So suppose if the user is entering 5, n divided by 2 will give me 2. That is, when the index number becomes 2, the number stored at that position will be 0 and the rest will be 1. Okay. Now I come on to the program. Now this two loops, that is I and j loop, I have taken it for rows and columns. I will be for the number of rows, j will be for the number of columns. So here, if I is equal to j, or I is equal to n minus 1 minus j, this we have discussed earlier in the presentation also. So if this condition becomes true, then I have to display the number which is in the array. Otherwise, I have to display a space. That's it. And here we will be having an other condition, that is else condition, if the user inputs an invalid number which is either less than 3 or even greater than 19, or it's an even number. So the program will show that the input is invalid. I'll be running the program now. Enter an odd number that is greater than 3 and smaller than 19. Suppose if I enter 1, which is an invalid input. See, the program is showing me an invalid input. Now I'll execute another one. Okay, now I'm giving an input as 5. See, this will be the structure which we get if I input 5. This contains 5 rows and 5 columns, and the 0 is exactly in the center. Now I can even enter 19. See, this will be the output. Now what if I enter an even number? Say 4. Okay, this is showing an invalid input. So this is what the program basically is. Thank you and hope you understood it.